Welcome back to Raccoon Shitty, where we struggle, we fight, we watch our friends die. Survival is a bitch. I'm Thomas, back with my co-host Frank, and today we're joined by a past guest and friend of the show. You may know him from his podcasts The Cheese Wheel and Musicals with Cheese, as well as his recent feature film The Daughters of the Domino. It's Jesse McAnally.
Hey, it's me! I'm back! By popular demand. And by the demand, it's me. I was the one that's asking for it. Thank you, gents, for having me back on.
Of course, of course.
I thoroughly derailed the Birds of Prey episode, and I'm excited to do it again for this one.
Hey, we interrupt each other and derail all the time. People don't know how much gets cut out.
I gotta say, I've been struggling with podcasts for years now as a podcast host myself. Like, it just kind of is hard to engage with it. Yours is the first podcast that I listen to every week and thoroughly get to the I look forward to it. And you got something special here, guys, and I'm honored to be on the ground floor of something big.
Thank you.
We didn't pay him to say that.
No.
Oh, I could have gotten paid to say that? All right, rewind.
No, this podcast, much like Spirit Airlines, is in the hole. We do not make money.
So, video games, video game movies. This is a lot different than DC movies, meaning I at least watch DC movies.
You mean you don't watch these Resident Evil movies?
No, I mean, I have seen one now, and it is Resident Evil Afterlife.
I am so glad. I texted Thomas this morning, and I said, I really hope Jesse hasn't seen any of the other movies, because I just want to gather what that experience is like.
Oh, it is chaotic. Truly, this film feels like the cinematic equivalent of the Men in Black little gadget that races. I watched this film twice, and I still do not remember enough about the characters. I know that some are from the video games, but it all revolves around Mila Jovovich being this badass lead character. I'm curious if she has a personality in the other films, because I could not discern one in this one.
Well, rest assured, she does not have a personality in any of the other movies.
She isn't named in the first movie at all.
That's also true. She doesn't even have a name in the first one. It's truly baffling. She's an original character, and there are characters from the games in these movies, at least from the second one onwards. The first one doesn't have anybody from the games, I guess, except the Umbrella Corporation, which isn't a person. But they're all just characters in name only. Like Chris Redfield and Claire Redfield are game characters. Wesker is closer. We'll get into
the first movie with Wesker. He's not he feels like he's introduced, like I'm supposed to know who this guy is.
Well,
but
so Wesker, you would think that he's in approximately 20 seconds of the third movie as like a tease for this one, and that's it. He's really not. He's not in any of these.
He's a hologram man in the last one.
Yeah, he's like a Star Wars hologram at the end of the last one.
Hold the fuck on. I'm gonna fix this for good, and it's not gonna be a problem anymore.
Okay, no problem.
I apologize! I've ruined everything! I've ruined podcasting forever! Ah! I do this for money! People pay me for this!
This is gonna stay in.
Okay.
All good?
All good. Yes,
okay.
I did not want to have you guys hearing yourselves in the background because my Bluetooth headphones disconnected. I'm like, this is gonna fuck up audio and make editing such a pain.
No, that's okay. Like we said, I said last time, I hate working with audio. And then you were baffled and looked at me and you said that you've entrusted me with audio on past projects we worked on. And after we were done recording, I was reflecting on that. And I was thinking, that's not true at all. I've never done audio on one of Jesse's things.
I think I've just handed you a boom, which is how my projects tend to go.
Possibly. Boom's the best part. You just have to point it in the right direction.
And you get to hit people with it.
Gosh.
That's true. So, you've never played any of the games. You've never seen any of the movies?
I played Resident Evil 4, I think to the past the tutorial. I'm not a gamer. I don't know if that's like you read from me based on just my general vibe. But I did play Resident Evil 4. I played the blonde twink and shot a bunch of things. And
Yes.
correct me if I'm wrong, but these are meant to be horror games, spooky ookies.
Well, see, that's the thing. They were originally horror games. There's action and there's sci-fi stuff in them too, but first and foremost, they were scary games. And the driving force of the scariness is not just the zombies, but also that your resources are very limited. So in the first 3 games, basically you never have enough ammunition to kill every zombie. You are trapped in these buildings and these locations, and you have to pick and choose your fights because you do not have enough resources. And sometimes you are limited in how many times you can even save. So it gets very tense. But as they go on, they get more actiony and more like blockbusters. Like 2 adds way more ammo. 3, there's way more action. You get like a dodge button. And by the time 4 comes around, the one you played, it's not really scary first anymore. It's action first, then the scares, and mostly from like the atmosphere.
Which is weird, because that's something you could translate into a movie fairly well, is like, we're on limited rations and all that. I don't think Alice ran out of bullets one single time in this entire movie.
Yeah, Jesse, well, I think we'll get into Alice a little bit more. As someone who hasn't seen it, you don't even know. That shot at the beginning where she uses the Force to rip the floor apart,
Yes.
that is like 1% of her power. When we talked about the 3rd movie last week, we were both really excited for this one because we didn't know how the fuck he was going to follow it up, if he was going to write himself out of this corner. Because at the end of the the 2nd movie, it's established that the T-virus has somehow given her telepathic powers, so she can use the Force. She's also a technomancer. She can hack computers by looking at them. And she can kill people with her mind. She kills a guy with a brain aneurysm that she induces by looking at him through a security camera. And the 3rd movie is the biggest example because there's a scene where Umbrella is trying to like hack her somehow with a satellite, and Alice, from the ground, hacks a satellite from space and destroys a microchip with her Force powers.
Yeah, okay.
And then at the end of movie 3, they reveal a Camino-like cloning facility with a bunch of Alices, where she releases the Alices, and it's like, not only is she a god-level Force user, but she now has an army of herself. How the fuck are they gonna write themselves out of this?
Very quickly, it turns out.
Yeah, I'm surprised they even addressed it at all, because the beginning of the 3rd movie, there's a voiceover where she basically says, the T-virus has turned the world into Mad Max. It has somehow gotten rid of all the fresh water. Everything is a desert. I'm not joking. It happens less than 5 minutes into the movie because they just wanted to make a Mad Max movie and they needed an excuse to do it.
I gotta say, I never watched these, but I saw the advertising when I was younger. And the only one that looked even mildly interesting to me was the 3rd one because it kind of looked like a Mad Max movie.
Well, if you like Mad Max, but you don't want any of the excitement, Resident Evil Extinction is for you, because that movie is a fucking slog somehow, despite being 90 minutes. And that movie's directed by the guy who directed Highlander. So I was expecting something at least like goofy fun, but like it's just people kicking rocks for the first 45 minutes, and then, yeah, don't waste your time with it.
I'm interested in this game you've set up for me, not to jump the gun in the notes, but...
Yeah. So Thomas and I, we never watched these movies before either. We're just fans of the game, and we were kind of also struggling with this. But basically, the game we have for you here, and for all our guests, without cheating, can you correctly order or even name all of the sequels in this series?
Okay.
First, I'll let you try to name them all. And after that, I will write the names out, and you will have to put them in order.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can, because I did mild research on this movie. I tried not to research any of the other movies or like plot synopsises. Like I watched interviews with Paul W.S. Anderson at the time. I watched contemporary reviews from online critics at the time. I was curious, so that's all the connection I've had. So we start with Resident Evil, I'm assuming.
You'd think, but no.
No. It is. That would be crazy.
Then I think it's like no, not retribution. It is an R word for the second one. I'm gonna stick with retribution, even though I know that's wrong. Then we have extinction. Then we have Afterlife. Then we have another R word. And that one might also be Retribution. So I'm putting Retribution there just to be safe. And then I think it's the final chapter.
Let me score your card here. Okay, Resident Evil 1 is just called Resident Evil. 6 is the final chapter. You got Extinction right and Afterlife right. Retribution is number 5. So your second guess was right on that one. The second one is called Apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
Now, I don't know how anybody could keep these in order. I truly don't. If you haven't done research like we have over the past few weeks, what difference is there between Apocalypse and Extinction and Retribution and, the final chapter? That's an easy one.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that there was 2 more after this. This feels like we're running out of steam one, but I'm pretty sure this made the most money out of all of them up to this point.
Yeah, you are correct in thinking that. I was just about to say, you would think this franchise is like, some straight to video slop. Like a lot of horror franchises, just like cranking out sequels nonstop. But there's only 6 of them, and combined, they grossed over $1 billion. Like, at one point in history, we talk about it in our first episode, which hasn't released yet, but at one point in history, this was the highest grossing horror franchise of all time.
Barf.
And to this day, it is the 3rd highest grossing film franchise in horror. The only 2 that surpass it are The Conjuring and Alien. Every other horror franchise has made less money than these movies. It is insane to think about.
I was trying to figure out what this went up against as far as the box office, and I'm sure y'all will go into that later, but it is kind of a dead zone, so I'm like, oh, I kind of get why this made all that money.
Yeah, well, not only that, but by the time we get to this movie, there's really nothing else like it. Like, Hollywood is not giving audiences this kind of movie anymore. This, like, wuxia, gun-fu, Matrix-inspired action stuff, it doesn't really exist in 2010. This is really, giving something to an underserved audience.
Remnant of a bygone era.
It is, but it made over $300 million. It is bizarre. We've talked about this before, but I'm convinced that the primary audience for this are not fans of the games, because they are not faithful to the games at all. Like, this one, Thomas could corroborate this more, because the one that this steals the most from is the one he's played. I haven't played that one yet. We kind of cover each other's gaps in knowledge.
I was going to say holes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but that's a different podcast.
Yeah, that's going to be, you're going to have to pay for that one. So, yeah, the first movie, I think, made a profit of $70 million, just about. The second one made about $80 million in profit. The third one made over 100. And this one, not to spoil our talk on the box office, but it makes over double in profits alone of what the last movie made. It seems like it's never going to stop.
Well, the budgets don't rise with it. Like,
Not
all
really.
the budgets are the same, around 30-40 million. So this is just a money printing machine.
It is crazy. The cheapest movie I think is 30. They're averaging around 45, and this one's the most expensive at 60. But it never really goes above here. I think maybe there's one that's 65, the final chapter. I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't have our box office spreadsheet pulled up, but you're right. Like, it is relatively low budget. And Thomas and I were also discussing this, I think yesterday, right? That this is the kind of movie that Hollywood doesn't really make anymore. Like, this mid-budget action film. Like, it is a blockbuster, sure, but like clearly not a movie that costs hundreds of millions of dollars.
They do, but they go straight to streaming, and nobody watches it.
Right, that's what I meant. Like, when you go to theaters, it's either something that costs very little, like these indie darlings. Well, I call them indie darlings, but like your A24 affairs. And then these, like, Marvel style blockbusters that are just the studios going all in, putting all their chips into one basket. And then when those movies bomb, they're completely fucked. They don't make mid-budget stuff like this. Like, even the John Wick 1 costs like 80 million, which is more than this somehow. And that movie is relatively grounded, especially compared to the sequels. But
I also just wonder if movies have gotten more expensive over the years. It's just difficult to maintain and do all the things that used to be fairly simple. And I also think this is a good thing. Unions and writers and all these have protected artists a lot more in recent years and ensured rights that they did previously. So things like this just kind of, I don't know. I bet the people that in this movie got so many residuals for when this aired on 50 times on like the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yes, I told Thomas, I think when we were talking about Apocalypse, the second film, like this is like the kind of movie you'd see playing on TNT 20 times a week. No, that could be part of it for sure. I also do think it's this trend with Hollywood where it's like it's go big or go home. And part of that is too, like all these studios have been bought up by tech companies and you know, these Silicon Valley brained people who don't think of it the way that the studios used to think of them. So the industry has changed in its mindset too. But yeah, I just think it's fascinating that it's still the third highest grossing video game franchise too, despite the fact that there's only been one film in the last 10 years. And before that, the last one was 10 years ago.
What are the two video game franchises above it?
So it used to be number one. For a long time, it was number one. Then Detective Pikachu came out and pushed it to number two. Like single-handedly. Those animated ones didn't make a lot of money, but Detective Pikachu shot it up to the top. And then the Super Mario Brothers movie from Illumination jumped Resident Evil to become number two. And now Galaxy has pushed it past Pokemon to number one. So that Illumination movie single-handedly just leapt over every single Resident Evil movie combined. But still, for a long time, and it's still third. It's still made more than the Sonic movies combined. Or Minecraft. I'm sure Sonic 4 is going to leap over this one, you know, in the rankings, but it's just fascinating to me that for a franchise that really hasn't had any movies in like a decade, it's got a spot on the podium.
All these franchises aren't good. It's sad when Detective Pikachu is probably the best film in this lineup. I will say the best Mario movie is still the 1993 movie. I think that film is incredible. I think that is art.
Yeah, I saw that for the first time a few years ago. That's a good movie. I really do like that movie. Bob Hoskins is perfect. People hate what they did with like the locations, but I think it's great.
Have you ever watched the work print edit? So I think Garrett Gilchrist, a film archivist who's famous for doing The Thief and the Cobbler, found like all the raw edits and made a full extended cut with every scene that was shot. And it's fascinating to watch a 2.5 hour version of that movie.
I would like to see that.
It's the Snyder Cut version.
It really is. Thomas, you haven't said anything in a while. Are you feeling okay?
No.
I think my COVID's coming back. I've never seen the 93 movie.
What? Okay. I mean, I keep being surprised, but I'm always reminded that Thomas hasn't seen anything.
I've only watched the DCEU and then the Resident Evil movies.
Okay, if you do another, like, you know, palate cleanser episode like your aunt's episode, I'm insisting I be invited on for the Super Mario Brothers to force Thomas to see that.
We could do that.
And it doesn't even have to be after the Resident Evil. It could be 4 years down the line when we have President the Rizzler.
Yes, I was just about to say President Rizzler. Yeah.
Sign me up.
Well, I'm not even in the Ants one. That's the crazy
Yeah, you
thing.
are.
That was sprung on me. That's a soundboard that Thomas concocted in a laboratory. And it's fooled people.
It has. I was fooled. Oh, no.
Yeah, no, that's all recycled. It's either taken from my Twitch streams or DCPU episodes.
That's the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard.
It was awesome.
He sent it to me on April Fool's and made me watch it on stream, and I had no idea what I was clicking on. And then I see the thumbnail with the Twin Towers, and I'm like, all right, what? We should get into the movie. So let's talk about the history of the project and details of release. Now, Jesse, compared to the DCEU, the Resident Evil franchise doesn't have nearly as much drama or behind-the-scenes information, so this should be quicker. But like we discussed last week, despite Extinction being referred to as the end of the Resident Evil trilogy, which it wasn't, it in no way was it acting as a finale to anything.
No.
Thematically or plot-wise. Sony was planning on making a fourth entry before the release of Extinction. Like, it was already public knowledge that 3 was not going to be the end. And in December 2008, Anderson confirmed to IGN that he was already in the middle of writing the next film. And he would tell them, quote, "I'm writing a script right now. The script side is happening. It's going to be difficult."
I'm imagining him just literally scribbling as he's giving the statement. Like, literally just, "I'm writing right now, guys."
I believe
Alice does a flip and shoots someone.
Yeah, that happened. So you don't know this, and you'll know it if you listen to the first episode, which isn't out yet. But
I would have.
the first Resident Evil movie that Anderson writes and directs was originally going to be done by George Romero.
Yes.
And we have like a quote from him where he's like literally doing that. He's like on the phone doing an interview with some magazine. And he's like, I'm in front of my computer writing the script right now.
Romero's the best. Didn't he do like a Resident Evil trailer or something for like one of the games?
Yes, he did a commercial for the second one that aired only in Japan, in which he lamented behind the scenes that he felt like he was ripping himself off. And then they were like, hey, why don't you make the movie? You know, we like the commercial. And they got his script, and then they never talked to him again.
They said it was garbage.
They literally said it was garbage. One of the Capcom producers said that they fired him because they didn't like the script.
Well, late stage Romero, that doesn't shock me.
Yeah. Anyway, he says it's going to be difficult to know what's happening until the whole SAG thing is resolved. But that's something I'm working on right now. I will say a little bit of foreshadowing. It doesn't seem like Anderson or his wife care too much about workplace safety or, unions. More so the workplace safety, but not to give it away. Some stuff happens later.
Is that in this one or is that on the next one?
There's a little bit of that in this one, but nobody gets hurt on this one, as far as I know. The next two people, it's kind of an understatement. Some people get hurt. Everyone at Capcom has had their input into the idea, and they're all very excited. I don't want to tell you what it is, but it's very exciting. Once again, we're doing it. And, you mentioned him literally scribbling it down, Jesse, but the way that he talks in every interview I've seen, he's kind of like, he comes from the Dwayne Johnson school of public speaking, where it's like he's just kind of stringing together these disparate like phrases, and he's just taking these weird pivots in the middle of sentences or skipping words that he should be saying, as this quote, from all the things in brackets tells you.
He looks like a little boy. I was looking up interviews of him from the time of the release, and I'm like, this looks like a child. This looks like he has like the popular surfer haircut of the time. He has like a really red face that I only see in like teenagers. Like he looks like a child.
The puka shell necklace.
Yeah, he's like, I'm trying to be Ashton Kutcher.
I had a theory that he's just like 3 12-year-olds in a trench coat.
Mila Jovovich, check your man.
Yeah, be careful. Did you see that she just created her own AI?
She did what now?
Yeah, I know. This will probably be very old news by the time the episode releases, but there was some headline a few weeks ago where Mila Jovovich had created her own LLM, and it was like passing all the memory tests faster than any of the paid ones, and she put it out for free. Very weird news.
Alice AI.
Yeah.
Project Alice!
It's Project Alice, basically.
Oh my god.
So he says, once again, we're doing it completely with the blessing of the video game company. We got a lot of flack on the sequels for, why isn't the movie set in the mansion just exactly like the very first video game? That's just not progression for me. He should be speaking English better than this. He's from the UK. As the Resident Evil video games themselves have developed in leaps and bounds, it's like when we did the last movie. People were like, Resident Evil doesn't take place in the desert. What the fuck is this? Well, where does Resident Evil take place? Does it take place in Raccoon City exclusively? Well, I don't think so, because the game has been in Antarctica, in Raccoon City, and now it's in Africa. He does have a point that, like, the games do become not globetrotting in the sense that this movie is, but they aren't locked to, like, a mansion or Raccoon City like the first couple games. But yeah, what he did in the last one's inexcusable. Like, there's no way to justify it by comparing it to the games, because again, he turns the last one into Mad Max with a 30-second voiceover.
Anderson would also take a lot of inspiration from Resident Evil 5, which had only come out a year before, recreating a fight scene between Wesker and Chris Redfield shot for shot using high-speed, slow-motion phantom cameras that were shooting over 200 frames per second. And yes, you heard me right, Chris Redfield, who is making his first appearance 4 movies in, played by Wentworth Miller, who is basically just playing his Prison Break character.
Yeah, he kind of is.
And while doing research on the character, Miller panicked after discovering how buff Chris was in the games. With only 3 weeks to prepare for the role, he focused on doing lots of cardio instead, since it would be impossible to bulk up. That's funny.
Yeah, Jesse, do you know what Chris looks like in the games?
No.
You know what? Hold on. I'm going to get the clip.
My body is ready.
Chris's infamous feat that Jesse wouldn't know about. I'm just going to have Jesse watch.
I thought you meant FEET.
No.
Like,
No.
I was also like, man, we got some foot fetishists here.
I'm salivating.
No. Keep it in your pants, you guys. Hold on.
This isn't the DCPU anymore.
No stinky feet to be found here. I want you to quickly watch this and, we'll just get your reaction to it in real time. Chris is very strong. Chris is a very buff guy.
I'm going to watch it too, just for fun.
Oh, yeah.
He is very buff.
I also just noticed the song in this scene sounds exactly like John Williams' Revenge of the Sith score.
I thought these were horror games. This is really okay. I think he could actually do that. I think that man, yeah, I believe it.
We're going to do it for the show. We're going to go to a volcano.
Why is he on the sun was going to be my follow-up question.
Thomas, you've played Resident Evil 5 and I haven't, so take it away.
So they're trying to defeat Wesker, and he's trying to escape in like a plane, and they go in the plane to follow him, and then the plane crashes into a volcano, and then they're fighting in a volcano, and he's trying to get to his partner who's fighting Wesker, so he has to punch the boulder so he can jump across it.
You know what? Maybe Paul W.S. Anderson does understand this.
Well, that's the thing, is like, we talked about this in the first movie's episode, where it's like, the first movie abandons the horror for the action and the sci-fi stuff. And that movie comes out in 2002, which is before Resident Evil 4. And Resident Evil 4 has the laser hallway from the first movie. It's got Alice roundhouse kicking zombies in the head like Leon does, the blonde twink in RE4. Well, that's what Jesse called him, and he's not wrong.
He looks like the emo kid.
Oh yeah. I wanted Leon's middle part so bad. It never would have worked for me, never. But that was like the coolest look ever with the jacket too.
I think he looks like Gary from Team America World Police.
Yeah, but the point is, I think at a certain point, Capcom was inspired to change the games based on the movies, and so by the time we're getting to this period, we'll talk about it later, but the point is Resident Evil 5 just came out, and it's like, who's ripping off who at this point? Because neither of them are really scary.
I got a question. Does Leon ever show up in any of these movies?
Not yet.
He's in the next one, I think.
Spoilers, man.
Does he have the middle part? Does he look the way he does in the games, or is it just another military brat?
I guess we'll see, because this guy doesn't really look like Chris.
I feel like I've seen a clip of Leon, and I don't think he looks anything like he does in the game.
Okay, great. That's par for the course.
Who are we making these for? Who is this for?
Paul W.S. Anderson originally said that he didn't want to use any characters from the game because he felt like it would rob the movie of suspense, because fans would know that the characters would never die, which that's not necessarily true. You could still have them die, But it's interesting that he immediately walked it back, because starting in the second one, he starts plopping game characters in as the supporting cast for Alice. And Chris is in the first game. He's like one of the two protagonists, and he doesn't show up until movie 4, and he's nothing like Chris at all. So I wonder why even do it. Because you're right, who is this for? It's not for fans of the game. Fans of the game, they checked out years ago.
I don't have the cleanest conscience about this. Was it just because a guy really likes his wife and wants to make her a badass in movies?
Oh, absolutely.
We have had a kind of a running joke that Alice is like his overpowered original character, because basically she upstages all the original characters from the games with insane feats.
Yeah.
She has big feet too.
Yeah.
I described her as a Neil Breen protagonist.
Neil Breen protagonists have wants and desires. I don't think Alice has any interiority.
She wants to find Arcadia.
Yeah. Didn't you watch the movie?
He said twice, but I'm thinking he didn't.
What? Maybe you're right. She has the need to find Arcadia because I guess that's what she wanted to do at the end of the last movie.
She's almost a mythical, superpowered hacker. I don't know. That's pretty Neil Breen to me.
What was her job at the Umbrella Corporation before all this?
Well, in the first movie, she wakes up with amnesia.
Oh, great.
And we don't know until near the end of the movie, in which it's revealed that she was like basically the night watch. She's like the security guard watching this building that's like disguising the entrance to the lab. And then the second movie retcons it that she's the head of all of Umbrella's security.
I'm not sure which I believe less, that she's a security guard or that she's the head of security.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
She's awesome.
You summed it up there, Thomas.
I really like her a lot. She's really cool. And in an interview with producer Jeremy Bolt, he revealed that while Paul W.S. Anderson didn't require the actors to actually play the Resident Evil games, he did like for them to watch playthroughs of the games. So they actually had like a gamer in Los Angeles play through the games and record it. and then they'd send the footage on like DVDs to the actors for them to watch and follow. And he said it was also helpful for stunts and filming sequences that were inspired by the games. And he also let it slip that, quote, there is a sequence in this film that is totally inspired by something from the last game. So when the gamers see it, they will literally have an orgasm.
That's a great thing to say about your movie.
Imagine being a budget line that is guy that plays video games for the actors. Like, that was what you got paid to do.
I wish I got paid to do that.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's doing Let's Plays before Let's Plays were really, like, profitable for anybody. Romero did the same thing. He had his assistant play through the first game and put a camcorder in front of the CRT and record the whole thing. Because he was not a gamer either. I think his exact quote was, I beat the original Legend of Zelda, and I quit while I was ahead. At 2010's San Diego Comic-Con, Anderson Jovovich, Ali Larder, who plays Claire, and Wentworth Miller held a panel where they answered fan questions and showed off some footage of the movie. It was here that Anderson revealed the reason for his return as director of the franchise. Because, you see, Jesse, he directed the first one, and he actually stepped away for 2 and 3. For movie 2, he was busy because he was directing Alien vs. Predator.
Another cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah.
It's better than Resident Evil.
It is.
You haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it yet. I know. I'm the one who hasn't seen it this time.
Frank hasn't seen a movie?
But I have seen Mortal Kombat, the original, which he did direct, and that was why they hired him for this.
I have seen Mortal Kombat Annihilation, but I've not seen the first one.
That was not him. The first one's a lot better than Annihilation. But he also wasn't there for 3 because he was directing a remake of Death Race 2000, that 70s movie with like live action wacky races with Sylvester Stallone. Yeah. And then he comes back for the 4th movie because it gives him the chance to direct a film in 3D. And because he thinks it was, quote, more globetrotting than the last 2 films.
Are we in the 2010s? 3D? 3D is the only reason why I wanted to watch this movie.
Oh, yeah. Me too. Well, other than the show. But I mean, like, last night I tried to go out of my way to watch the 3D version of this movie. You know, yo-ho and all that. I wasn't going to pay for a Blu-ray, which probably wouldn't even have the 3D version anyway. And I was struggling. I got out my Oculus or whatever, MetaQuest 2, and I put the file on the headset, and I've watched 3D movies on it before from files. Like, I watched Avatar that way. And this movie would not fucking load. I tried for like over an hour last night, and I went to the brain trust that is Reddit, and I'm trying to find troubleshooting solutions, and they're like, oh, you got to get a different player, you got to change the file extension, blah 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 blah. I changed MP4, MKV, didn't matter. I tried like 3 or 4 different video players from the Oculus store. One of them was designed for porn. Like I tried every video player I could find that would play files.
Just for future reference, what was that called?
I had to download it for the show.
I don't know. I was a little distracted once I got in there. But after about
so much porn, he did never watch Resident Evil Afterlife.
After about 5 minutes or
5 hours,
probably 5 minutes at most, I left that because that's all I needed. And I kept looking, and it just wouldn't work. So I was very frustrated. I wanted to watch this in 3D, but I think even without seeing it in 3D, you can tell what parts are, in your face.
I couldn't. Yeah. But I wasn't looking at it, and I didn't know it was in 3D.
Like when the axe is coming at you.
Oh yeah. Immediately she's throwing those ninja stars in the opening. Like,
oh yeah.
I hate that stuff. I like 3D, but I hate it when they're like doing the shit like Friday the 13th with the yo-yo, you know what I mean?
See, that's the only time I like kind of appreciate dumb like it has to be a dumb movie. Like, have you ever watched Journey to the Center of the Earth 3D with Brendan Fraser?
Oh, I loved that movie as a kid.
It's just like, I've never watched it in 3D, but watching it, you're just like so aware that it is in 3D, and every other second there's shit coming at you.
Going back to Mad Max, that's like the one shot in Fury Road that I hate. It's the only shot in the whole movie I dislike is the one where Nux crashes the truck, and they have the guitar flying at the screen just so it can pull back. It's just like really goofy. I don't know if you can remember it. I mean,
oh, I know the exact shot you're talking about.
It's goofy. I don't like it. It's like jangling keys in front of my face like I'm a baby.
For that reason, there's a lot of stuff like that in Fury Road. I think Furiosa is a significantly better film than Fury Road.
I love them both. I don't know which one I like better.
But also I saw Furiosa on D-Box, which is the peak experience way to watch a Mad Max movie.
Is that the one where like there's screens on the side and the seats?
No. This is where the seats shake
Okay.
and move you around, and
Oh.
it never stops because you're in a car the entire time. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, wee.
Popcorn flying all over. The theater employees are like, kill me.
But the worst experience in a D-Box is Wicked. Wicked was truly nauseating, horrible.
Yeah, all the flying, right?
No, it's the camera movement. At the end of Wicked, there's like a camera move where they just spin around the girls and the seat moves with it. And I'm like,
Oh, God.
I'm going to throw up. I can't do this.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could sit through a whole movie like that.
Yeah, he's wrote all of these movies. It's interesting that he comes back for movie 4 to direct because of the 3D. He says James Cameron showed him a huge chunk of Avatar, which is what inspired him to make the decision. And it also made him believe that 3D was the future standard and benchmark for movies from here on out, which, 16 years later, we know that's not true.
Let's go look at all the 3D showtimes nearby.
I mean, I can't even fucking rent a 3D movie. Like, I tried. I was willing to spend money on this to rent it and watch it on my VR headset. And there's no way to do it. Even the studios don't give a shit about making money off 3D movies that they've already made.
Remember they had whole 3D TVs too?
Yeah.
3D TVs don't exist anymore. But
No, they don't.
I kind of simp for well done 3D re-releases of older movies. I think that's when that shit really works for me.
Yeah, Jaws was a really good conversion.
Incredible.
Yeah.
How do they do? We shouldn't get into that. I was going to say, how did they make old 2D movies 3D?
I must say, I could go into it, but I don't think we care enough. This is about a Resident Evil.
Well, that's okay. Resident Evil deserves to be talked over.
How dare you? This is Kino.
It is Kino. I did have a good time watching this one. For how
Okay.
stupid it was. According to producer Jeremy Bolt, the 3D shooting added an extra 20% to the film's overall budget. I don't know if that's high or...
It went to I think from 40 to 60.
Okay. Well, that's a third. That is
Okay.
more than 20%.
Never mind.
That's a lot.
Let me calculate here.
I don't know how much shooting in 3D usually adds to a production's cost.
It's not even just the fact that it's expensive to shoot in 3D. It changes the way you have to shoot. So you can't use steady cams. You really have to choose when you move the camera, because if you do it in a certain way, the effect doesn't work. And I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that like instead of steady cams, they like rigged it to a Segway to be able to get these moving shots.
Yes, Thomas informed me of that, I think, last night. I think we forgot to put it in the doc, but it's very funny.
It's very difficult to shoot in 3D, which is part of the reason why most people don't. I think it's interesting when you see, like, I don't know if anyone else is Doctor Who fans, but when they did their 50th anniversary, their big thing was, we're going to do it in 3D, and it looks infinitely worse than the show usually does because they don't know how to move a camera in 3D.
Yeah, that's rough.
I calculated it. It was so 20% of 60 is 12.
Okay, so an extra $12 million, and they have to rethink how they do it. Yeah, I think it's interesting, too, that Anderson talks about it as if him and James Cameron are peers. And I guess they are. Like, they both make movies with, action, and they both make lots of money compared to their budgets.
Well, the thing is, James Cameron at his core is a popcorn filmmaker, and if you go by what he's produced and like the Terminator films he's like thrown a stamp of approval on, he doesn't have the high benchmark of taste for other people's work. If you've heard of Sanctum, which is a film I saw in theaters, which is hot garbage, but it was in 3D and James Cameron thought it was great.
Yeah, we're about to get into James Cameron's thoughts on Resident Evil. He actually Anderson used Cameron's own fusion camera system that was invented for Avatar. It took a few extra weeks of pre-production for the camera crew to train with the new camera system. And this was originally in our first episode's doc, but it's more relevant here because James Cameron comes up. The original Resident Evil movie is his favorite guilty pleasure movie. James Cameron actually loves these movies. And Michelle Rodriguez is in the first one. And the games, and by extension the movies, do take some like at least aesthetic influences from like the Terminator films and Aliens. So it makes sense. Jim does seem like the kind of guy who wants his ego stroked.
Why are you calling him Jim like your friends?
We are.
Friend of the show, Jim.
Yeah.
Jim Cameron.
But I just think that's funny.
He's a weird guy.
Yeah, he is. And while filming with these 3D cameras, Mila Jovovich accidentally destroyed one because Anderson had told her to swing a shotgun right into the camera, and she just smashed the shit out of it with the shotgun.
She's like, I thought you wanted me to hit it.
It's not going to be the last time Anderson gives some directions that involve things getting destroyed. So, yeah,
Life's getting destroyed.
Based on his quotes, he's not a great communicator.
No, he's not. When we get to movie 6, that's going to be very apparent. And that cost the production over $100,000 from the broken camera.
Honestly, kind of cheap.
Maybe they just had to, like, repair it. I don't know if outright replace it, you know? I'm not sure if it was... Maybe it was just the lens. I have no idea. But
don't they have insurance? Like, why does that cost? I don't know.
I don't know. These are weird movies. They're produced in Germany and then sometimes shot in Canada. It's weird.
Aren't they Screen Gems releases?
Yes, distributed by Sony through Screen Gems, but they're produced by a German company called Constantine Films, which when I saw the Zach Kreger teaser and I saw the Constantine Films logo and sizzle at the beginning, I got scared.
I got Vietnam flashbacks.
Yeah, pretty much. And this one did take place, filming took place in Toronto. There were hundreds of residents in the city making calls to the police after witnessing the burning plane crash scene being filmed in the city. Because again, I guess Anderson and his crew are not great communicators and did not warn.
They crashed a real plane?
I don't know. That can't be true, that they crashed a real plane. But there is a burning plane crash in the movie, so maybe they shot that somewhere where people would think it's real.
They shot it off the side of the freeway.
I mean, it's not the last time the city of Toronto is going to be thrown into some sort of chaos from these movies. So, yeah. And while not part of the production of the film, it's worth noting that Paul W.S. Anderson and Mila Jovovich would finally get married between the releases of Extinction and Afterlife. They were on and off again. Thomas, what did you say last time?
It was like they started dating after the first one or during the first one, and then they were like on and off until like 2007, and then
they were like engaged.
They got back together. Yeah, they got engaged in 2007, 2008,
and then the film would finally release on September 10th, 2010.
I was curious because we were talking about like all the safety and stuff, so I'm like, who is the first AD of this movie? It's Jeff Authors, who also was the first AD for Suicide Squad.
Oh God,
another friend of the show.
And The Love Guru, like 3 classic films there.
Yes.
Afterlife, The Love Guru.
Should I share my piece of trivia I found on IMDb?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Let me pull it up. I sent it to Frank because I thought it was really funny.
It also said like 4 out of 22 people found this interesting.
Oh, yeah, because who would find this interesting? This one says 3 of this movie's crew members, Patrick Baxter, Tara Conley, and Kenneth Sales, would go on to work on another movie that has Afterlife in its subtitle, Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I like that it's just another movie.
Yeah.
These people also got another job.
With random crew members.
Good for them.
So now we'll move on to the state of movies in Resident Evil at the time of release. Other notable movies releasing around this time included The Expendables, Eat, Pray, Love, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Vampires Suck, The American, The Town, Easy A, Devil, Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps, and Legend of the Guardians, The Owls of Ga'Hoole, which is directed by friend of the show, Zack Snyder.
Now, if you guys are going to the theater that weekend, what are you seeing?
Ooh.
I mean...
Eat, Pray, Love.
Yeah, Eat, Pray, Love. I mean, I want to say Scott Pilgrim, but truth be told, at the time I probably wouldn't have been. Yeah, I'd probably go see The Expendables or The Town. But Scott Pilgrim's a good movie.
I did see Scott Pilgrim this very weekend with my father.
For the first time?
Yeah, it was in theater, so...
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, that was, freshman in high school. That was like, movies can still be good, thank God.
I just dragged Thomas to the IMAX re-showing of Speed Racer, which he saw for the first time.
What a wacky one that is.
Oh, it's perfect. It's so good.
I wanted to see that in that IMAX release, but I didn't. I hope they might do it again someday.
I hope so too. It was a 10 p.m. showing, so we got out of the theater at like 1 a.m.
Now that's one to take an edible before.
I think I would have been tripping with all the weird like tunnel shots, all the lights. I'd be like, Urgh.
The other 4 people in the theater loved it. So
the one guy in front of us was like, I've been waiting 20 years for this to come back to theaters because I never got to see it.
I'm really happy for that guy. What was Zack Snyder doing making this movie?
He wanted something for his daughters to watch.
Oh,
Big
okay.
Owl fan.
Is that the real reason?
I'm assuming that's the
I
reason.
mean, I guess that's like a common thing. You know, like Scorsese made Hugo for his daughter, and then like Coppola made The Outsiders for Sofia Coppola too, because she liked the book. I think that's just something these directors do.
That's something you
pull.
could do earlier. Speaking of, and I hate to go on another tangent, have you guys, in your study of the Snyderverse, watched Zack Snyder's COVID rewatch of Batman v Superman and Man of Steel? Like, I think he did that in the lead up to his director's cut of Zack Snyder. He has like this home theater sized room, and his projector's just hooked up to his Apple TV. And to get to Batman, he has to go through 5 pages of Barbie movies that he has purchased for his daughters.
I like that.
I don't know. I think Zack Snyder seems like a totally good dude, and I don't like any of his movies.
Well, maybe he's a good dad. I don't know. We found out, you know, he might not be a great guy to work with. I mean, actors say that he's good to work with, but he seems like a very not union guy. Like during the Snyder Cut, he was shooting scenes in his driveway without union approval or any safety guidelines.
They didn't need safety. It's a driveway. What's going to happen?
I have of two minds of that, where on one hand, I get it, but on the other hand, I would be so stifled if I couldn't just go film something. And once you are in the DGA, you can never just go film something, even if it's as small as your camcorder doing something. Then you could be kicked out, lose all your pension.
Oh, I agree with that. That is very restrictive, and I can empathize with that too. Maybe if I was in the same position, but this is for his additions to Justice League. Like, he was shooting the Green Lantern scene that was cut from the movie in his driveway. It was like Warner Brothers didn't give him permission to spend that money or to do any of that.
They didn't give him permission to steal the reels, and that's what got us here.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I hate to be defending that.
I'm not saying he's a monster or anything. I'm just saying, like, he kind of does what he wants, for better or for worse.
He's a Chad.
He's better than Joss Whedon.
Yes, he is.
Bar's so low there, though. The way you're talking about you're like, you can't film anything without like getting approval for it makes me think of just a guy, like a director on vacation, like trying to take a video of a building. He's like, oh, I gotta submit a claim first.
It kind of is that way, especially if it's getting public release. Like, if you do anything and it never gets released, that's one thing. Kevin Smith, when my film The Daughters of the Domino played at his film festival last year, so our film plays and then literally credits roll, Kevin Smith goes on stage, he's like, all right, we're talking now. And he talked about how he was trying to make like a really cheap film, and they're like, you cannot not hire a union crew. You have to do these things if your name's attached to it, or you will be kicked out of the DGA. You will lose your pension. You will have no retirement. He's like, I am kind of trapped into making films that cost over $1 million, but you guys aren't.
That's really interesting.
He just starts handing out $1 million to the crowd.
Yeah, did you get $1 million?
No, but I did find out he's trying to reboot Danny Phantom as a live action series.
What the fuck?
And I'm like, I would not have given that to you, Kevin Smith.
Yeah, no.
As for Resident Evil, the game series, 2 more Resident Evil games would release in the gap between Extinction and Afterlife. In March 2009, Resident Evil 5 was the first mainline entry in the series to feature online multiplayer and also allowed for split-screen co-op. It was Capcom's best-selling game for 9 years, being usurped by Monster Hunter World in 2018, and would be Resident Evil's highest-grossing entry until 2025. In November 2009, Resident Evil The Dark Side Chronicles would release on the Wii. Darkside Chronicles was another light gun shooter, this time retelling the events of Resident Evil 2 and Code Veronica, with additional scenarios acting as a prequel to Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil on the Wii sounds like the worst thing.
That'd probably be awesome.
From what I understand, there's a port of Resident Evil 4 on the Wii that uses the controller as a pointer to shoot, and people say that's the best version, because you can like pop headshots really easily compared to flicking the stick, which can be kind of clumsy.
Is that what you were doing with that VR headset?
Yeah. I mean, no.
I had Black Ops on the Wii.
Oh, that's crazy. I can't imagine Call of Duty on the Wii. Did it even have online multiplayer? I can't imagine Nintendo letting people...
I didn't have it.
Because I've heard what Call of Duty lobbies sound like, especially from those days. Doesn't seem very Nintendo friendly.
It only had one zombies map, too.
Oh, man.
The basic one.
Yeah.
What it's called.
Kind of crazy that this game came out in 2009 and it would still be their best-selling game ever for almost a decade.
I mean, that was kind of the peak of video game horror franchises, like Left 4 Dead and all that, like the late aughts, early 2010s. I can imagine that.
That's true, and I think Left 4 Dead might be part of what inspired them to do the co-op too, because that's a big part of Left 4 Dead.
After Resident Evil 4 was so popular as well, I could see that people wanted to get 5, and maybe they didn't like it as much as 4, but just like the notoriety of 4 across all the different consoles that it released on, I could see that being a reason why it sold so well.
And 4 is everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, here, let me just...
Uh-oh, he's getting out the collection.
Like, just to prove a point of how, like, ubiquitous Resident Evil 4 was. This is the box to my MetaQuest 2, okay? And what is on the box but an advertisement for Resident Evil 4 VR? On the box for the system. It's like all over the packaging. It's all over the back. It's just a Facebook product with Resident Evil 4 screenshots. It really was everywhere. And 5, yeah, I've heard it's not as good. I mean, I've only played a little bit of it. Thomas, what do you think of Resident Evil 5?
Okay, well, it's not as bad as 6. 6 is garbage. Frank's probably tired of hearing me say that, but it's awful. 5 isn't horrible. It does have some scarier moments, but for the most part, it's mostly just action. And it has a piss filter on the whole game. Everything's yellow.
The iconic piss filter of the late aughts in video games.
Might be a little problematic with the enemies.
I was about to ask about that. Jesse wouldn't know. How racist is Resident Evil 5?
So they basically have been testing their new zombie strain on like the natives.
Oh.
So you kind of have zombified natives, and they have spears as weapons, and you go into their villages and you murder them. Apparently they were very surprised by that.
Capcom?
Yeah, they were like, we didn't mean it that way.
No, they're like, well, the last game was in Spain, so just not grasping the difference in like the imagery at all. I'm trying to find the most racist enemy so I can send a picture of it to Jesse.
The most racist enemy. I'd call that in the right wing.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe the most racist enemy in a game ever.
Ever? I don't know.
I mean, at least since the Song of the South level in Kingdom Hearts.
You're joking.
Of course I'm joking.
Okay, that'd be crazy.
I don't know anything about Kingdom Hearts except the premise, so...
It was just believable enough, though, right?
Yeah, I mean... It was like 20 years ago, so they could have totally done something like that. But yeah, check this guy out.
I don't see a problem with this.
No.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Some of them have tribal masks on too.
Those are some incredible feats.
Let me read his bio here.
He has a name?
Well, I think this is just the name of the tribe. A tribal ethnic group native to and inhabiting West Africa, who traditionally reside within caves upriver. This is insane. Not reading all this. But just
TLDR.
Yeah.
AI summarize it.
Yes, it is a very uncomfortable image to be shown in a video game, especially in hordes, as I imagine coming at you. And I'm assuming our protagonist is a white person.
Oh, it's Chris. Yeah, it's Chris.
But Sheva's from Africa too, so it's okay.
Okay.
In the same way Elon Musk is.
Well, she's
black.
Okay.
She's light skinned, but yes, she's black. I don't know where she's from. She's with a British accent. Oh, okay. All right. That's the co-op partner. But yeah, it's mostly Chris.
Chris actually asked to go there. They're like, where do you want to go? He's like,
that's a little suspect.
Is Chris like racist? Is he like a coded racist?
No.
He doesn't know how to read music. I don't think he knows how to be racist.
I think that would make you more likely to be racist. But
he didn't get involved in jazz band in school, so
Chris is such a meathead with like no personality. Like he's one of the characters from the games that I don't really enjoy at all, which is unfortunate because he's featured most probably besides Leon. He's such a meathead. When Capcom eventually did like a crossover, they did they make Street Fighter. So they make fighting games, and they did a crossover fighting game called Marvel vs. Capcom, and it's like a whole franchise. And in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, they finally put some Resident Evil characters in it. I know Jill's in too. Shut up. I can hear you replying in the comments. But Chris is in the game, and they do this whole marketing campaign where it's like, here's the Marvel character, and here's the Capcom character, and here's their equivalents.
Is this the Hulk?
Yes. Chris is fighting the Hulk. Just, Capcom views Chris on like a comparable level of strength to the Hulk.
That's awesome.
I mean, I did just watch him punch a boulder.
Yeah, which is... Yeah.
And he was mad?
He's what?
He was mad when he punched the boulder?
Oh, yeah.
Basically Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
He was made angry, and I did not like him when he was angry.
It's canon too. Like they've done sort of a soft reboot with the games in the past decade or so. And in the one that came out in like 2022, 23, there's a character who calls Chris a boulder punching asshole. So like they're not going to ever let him live that down. Like they will remember that forever.
It begs the question, though, is he going around telling people that he punched a boulder? Or was someone else, like, watching, and, or, like, Sheva, she's like, he punched a boulder to save me. So the story's going around. The villain of the game knows who he is.
And the villain of that game is also, like, that particular villain is also just, like, a Magneto dressed like Van Helsing.
And acting like Nicolas Cage.
Really weird. We need to get into the plot synopsis and discussion.
Do we, though?
Well, I don't know how much we've got to say. I think this should be quick.
I have 8 pages of notes.
I'm going to say something about this movie that I don't think anyone's ever said before. Truly, I think this is an original thought. I think it's borderline experimental.
It's, elaborate.
I am quoting Red Letter Media, where Jay Bauman screamed that at the screen.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say a lot of people on Letterboxd would agree with you. There's a lot of contrarian takes from people about these movies that are rating them like 4 or 5 stars, unironically.
One of them is me.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as we are, like, how would this rank among the other 3 you've watched?
Probably the best one.
That's what I was going to say, too.
By a wide margin.
Really? Oh, wow.
It's been pretty bad.
I think for me, it'd go 4, 1, 2, 3.
I would go 4, 2, 1, 3. 4 at least looks like a movie, whereas like I told Thomas, the first one looks like something you'd see on Best of the Worst, like one of the better picks, and then the second one, yeah, it looks like a movie you'd see on cable. Like it looks like a movie that would play, you know, and you'd leave it on in the background while you clean or something.
I know the sci-fi execs were drooling when they saw this in theaters.
Yeah.
Oh god. I mean, I guess I wasn't coming into this grading on is it a movie, so maybe I came in with a little harsher.
I don't know if they're movies, but like this is the strongest script they've ever had.
Are you kidding me? Really?
And maybe the best direction they've ever had too.
I feel like you have to go watch the other ones now.
Yeah, maybe.
I was just like, man, there is no plot. She's just jumping from action scene to action scene, and I don't even know how we got there.
I guess there is a little context missing from the last one.
Which is what?
They're in the last one, they're trying to go to Arcadia.
Oh,
because they get like, they find a journal in a gas station bathroom that says, go here.
Yeah, they find a little notebook on a corpse in Salt Lake City that tells them to go to Alaska, and so they decide to do that. And to do that, they have to make a detour to Las Vegas from Salt Lake City to get gas, which is over 400 miles in the opposite direction. Okay, we need to get into this now. Alice and her clones lead the assault on Umbrella HQ in Tokyo, slaying the entire branch except for Albert Wesker, who escapes in a tilt rotor plane and I almost said tit rotor, and detonates a bomb that leaves a massive sinkhole. The real Alice boarded beforehand and attempted to execute Wesker, only for him to inject her with an antivirus to remove her superhuman abilities. Wesker is revealed
Let's
to have
pause
used
for a second.
Yes, sorry.
As someone coming into this,
Yes.
what the fuck? That was
I know.
That's it. That's all I've got to say. That's the first 15 minutes of the movie.
It's batshit insane. It is incomprehensible, I think. Borderline incomprehensible.
How did he have that serum ready for her?
I guess he just knew she was coming. Yeah, she does announce at the end of the last one.
At the end of the trilogy.
Yeah, right. She says, like, I'm coming with my friends and we're gonna get you or whatever.
And a follow-up question. She gets injected. She's like, thank you. You've made me human again.
She's also not a human again because she does outlandish things in this film still.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I was thinking about that when she was like pulling the Die Hard with the rope on the side of the skyscraper. And it's like, human? All right. Sure.
Or she's like jump and spin kicks the giant guy later and he flies back across the room.
And I heard an interview with Paul W.S. Anderson about like, hey, why did you do that? He's like, oh, I just wanted to make her, more human, more damageable. I wanted to make the risk for her. And I'm like, but you don't. There is no point where I'm worried that Alice is at risk or in danger really at all.
That's only because there's still 2 movies left.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Not because the director's wife will be in these forever. 2 incomes.
Two income households from the same job.
And like even after he was done making these with the 6th one, he made a Monster Hunter movie, which is a Capcom series, starring Mila Jovovich as the lead.
It's a spiritual successor.
It's like a pyramid scheme.
Wesker's revealed to have used the T-Virus to gain his own superhuman abilities and prepare to kill Alice before the plane crashes into the mountains.
Oh, also, yeah, she's doesn't have her powers anymore and then survives a plane crash immediately. So,
which she doesn't survive a helicopter crash in the second one, and that's without the powers.
Wait, she's died before?
She has died before.
Well,
the Alice we've been following,
we don't know that for sure.
We know.
We're
Thomas thinks she was
here.
like stuck into a Bacta tank or whatever from Star Wars, but she was cloned in a vat. The Alice from the original died at the end of 2 in a helicopter crash, and from here on out, it was a clone with the superhuman ability. See, this is what.
Agree.
So why do I care about her any more than I care about the other clones we saw of her at the beginning of the movie?
You really don't. She's got nothing. She's got no personality.
Because she's not a clone.
Even if she wasn't a clone, she's still such an empty character. I love that they completely ignore the Mad Maxification of the last one.
Oh, yeah. I was really mad when it first started because I thought that they were just hand waving it away because they start in Tokyo where it's like raining or whatever. And I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. Like they just completely hand waved away all like the desert and shit.
They literally say in the last one that the T-Virus has somehow dried up the earth, that fresh water doesn't really exist anymore. Which makes no sense. All it does is turn people into monsters. Why would it affect the water supply and just make it evaporate?
Because Scar became in power and now the lionesses can't hunt.
Yes. That's another allegory. It's not just Alice in Wonderland, and you got a little bit of Oz with the red sparkly shoes on that zombie at the opening.
Throw up, Frank.
Well, in the last few, there are some like attempts, like the most unsubtle attempts at like a Alice in Wonderland thing. It's bad. There's another 4 years for no reason, which creates a continuity error later. On top of the 5 years from the time skip in the voiceover from the last movie. So it's now been nearly 10 years since
that's not what's happening.
What are you talking about?
That was a flashback.
What?
The opening was a flashback. And then it jumps 4 years ahead. So apparently I was reading, I don't think they talk about it in here, but apparently Japan didn't get taken over by the zombies because it's an island.
But we do see it get taken over.
Well, yeah, there. But it wasn't for like a year after the first outbreak started.
Okay. Doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to...
Because it's an island.
Yeah, right. We're going to move on.
Thomas, what are you fighting for?
I'm fighting for pure cinema right here.
I do love the opening. It's incredibly stupid, but it's at least funny. Like, especially without the context. But, like, the fact that they actually follow through on the last scene of the last one where it's like, yeah, she's got the Force and she has an army of clones. They do follow through on that. I was kind of expecting them to hand wave it away with a voiceover and say, like, all of my clones died from the T-Virus.
Wouldn't that be so much cooler if there's just, like, zombie clones of fucking Mila Jovovich coming after her?
I mean, they would have hand waved it away like they wouldn't have even shown.
No, I'm pitching a much better scenario where we've got like her fighting herself but they're zombies.
That would be fun.
Well, they couldn't be zombies because she's perfectly bonded with the T-Virus.
At a cellular level, as they say constantly throughout the series. Can I talk about the T-Virus for a second? Right. The T-Virus is called that, at least in the games, because it's short for tyrant virus, because it's designed to turn people into these monsters called tyrants. And we get the extreme close-up of Alice's bloodstream with the like serum. They're T-shaped blood cells or something. The virus that's being eaten apart by Wesker's injection is shaped like the letter T. So I almost called him Wes Anderson. Jesus Christ. Paul W.S. Anderson he's literally made them T-shaped.
Oh my God. Could Wes Anderson be Paul W.S. Anderson? Have they ever been in the same room together?
I can't imagine they'd hang out much. I think that if you merge Paul Thomas Anderson with Wes Anderson, you get Paul W.S. Anderson.
There's too many Andersons. But also, we know that we're in a different timeline because in this one, the T-Virus was made to help the little girl not be, like, crippled.
Oh yeah, in the second movie, they established Jared Harris as like a scientist who has a sick daughter, and that's why he made the T-Virus, which doesn't make any sense.
Which turns people into zombies, but it's also...
gonna help his daughter walk.
Yeah.
I gotta say, like, I am impressed that Anderson wrote himself out of this corner. Because it's like, I don't know how they were able to, like, I was thinking, like, you couldn't do a whole movie like this. How are you gonna get the clones out of the way and the superpowers? And at about...
Why you not just, instead of writing yourself out of that corner, use those tools that you've given yourself?
Yeah, but he wasn't going to do that.
Why?
Because he's not a good writer.
You're giving a promise to an audience and you're like, fuck you! Goodbye!
That's exactly what happened in 3.
I was surprised too. I did not see this coming.
It's nice that she doesn't have superpowers. Like, I agree, Jesse, we should go full throttle, but he was never going to do that. They don't even use the Alice clones, like, telekinesis in that opening fight, aside from ripping the floor apart once.
They could have just been force killing everyone.
Yes, Wesker got away on a helicopter. Why didn't they just grab the helicopter with their minds? They're shooting it with Uzis instead. Already, Anderson has decided he's not going to bother using what he's already written into these characters, like abilities.
I thought it was really funny that she went to Japan and then became a ninja and appropriated their culture, both the ninja stars and the katanas.
Yes, neither of which she uses in the last movies, yeah. She's got like a machete or 2 machetes in the last one.
Also, how did they get there? Because they've been bitching the whole last movie about how there's no fuel ever.
Well, so here's my theory. Because we're talking about a group of Alices and they have the mind powers, I think they floated each other across the Pacific Ocean to get to Japan. Like, I grab
awesome.
you grab me, and then multiply that by like 50. So there's just a floating group of 100 Alices going across the Pacific.
That's awesome. I like that. I'm going to take that as a headcanon.
You're making me think too much about this movie.
I thought it was really funny. I was laughing like this whole time. Like, everyone has 2 guns for some reason. Mm-hmm. Like, Wesker just whips out 2 guns, and then everyone around him whips out 2 pistols, and they all start shooting.
Everyone's akimbo all the time. Yeah.
It was just it's really funny. It was fun. It was stupid. And then I really like that after this, we just go into like a very but a more grounded situation. And then all the clones immediately killed off by a black hole bomb or something.
Yeah. Something that a pharmaceutical giant would be developing, of course.
My question is, so we have this company, the Umbrella Company, run by Paul Wexler or whatever his name is. Most of the world's a zombie. What are you trying to rule? What are your business goals here, my guys?
Great question.
I had the same thing later, because later on the movie, I'm like, why are they so antagonistic? The world is like ended. Why are they still being so goddamn evil?
Who's gonna buy your pharmaceutical products?
Yeah, you're ruling over a kingdom of drooling, shuffling monsters. They're not people. Yeah, you're right. He has no motivation. In RE5, doesn't he have a whole speech about how he wants to take over the world with the T-virus?
No, I think in the games he wants to evolve the human race to like the next level by infecting everyone.
Okay. So he's a hero, is what I'm getting.
I could be wrong or misremembering, but I'm pretty sure that's what he wanted to do.
Wait till we get President the Rizzler, and he's gonna bring out the T-virus.
I did have one note. When I typed in the name for the doc, it's Thomas's Afterlife notes, I felt like I was writing like a suicide note or something.
I love just a loved one finding this and they're like, man, he was really obsessed with that Resident Evil, wasn't he? Who's Paul W.S. Anderson? We need to get in touch.
I would love to see the human being whose favorite movie is Resident Evil Afterlife.
No. Thomas, this has got to be like a Dear Evan Hansen situation where they find this and they think he had one friend and it was Paul W.S. Anderson.
I don't even know how he knew him. He's a big director.
And Paul W.S. Anderson just like feeds the lie, and then he's now invited to your parents' house all the time.
He's like, he also mentions an Alice, a Wesker, a Claire, a Chris.
They were my friend group. Yeah. Thomas and I were always in this group.
They went on so many adventures together.
We climbed trees.
I have seen Dear Evan Hansen, the movie.
Oh, was it good? Did you love it?
I didn't mind it, but also it was just kind of like an episode of like Curb Your Enthusiasm or Seinfeld.
I've never heard it compared to that. Elaborate, please. Anything about talking about Resident Evil Afterlife.
It's just like there's a whole like misunderstanding, and then it like completely devolves from there. I'm like, if you would have just told the truth in the first place, things would have gone so much easier.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't get to look at Amy Adams and live in her house and steal her dead son's college education money.
That's true.
That is very tempting, yeah.
And have sex with his sister.
Is that what happens?
Yes, he lies about being best friends with their dead son.
I know that part. I didn't know he fucks the sister.
Oh, in the musical, they cut this out of the movie. He tries to make out with her on her dead brother's bed.
And they say romance is dead.
And then she's like, get out of my house. You just assaulted me on my dead brother's bed.
Yeah, that wasn't in the movie.
I can't imagine why they would have cut that.
That musical is fucked up, guys. Just like Resident Evil Afterlife. 6 months later, Thomas.
Yeah, 6 months later, Alice travels to Alaska in an airplane, tracking broadcasts from a safe haven called Arcadia. She only finds abandoned planes and is attacked by a feral Claire Redfield. Alice destroys a spider-like device on Claire's chest, giving her amnesia and pacifying her. They travel to the ruins of Los Angeles, where they find survivors living in a prison surrounded by thousands of undead. They meet Luther West, who leads the surviving band from the prison, Wendell Crystal Waters. I didn't know her name was Crystal Waters.
They say all of their names maybe once or twice. That's it. They exist to be killed. They're not people.
We also have Bennett, Kim Young, and Angel Ortiz. And with their help, Alice lands on the prison's roof and learns Arcadia is not a fixed place, but a cargo tanker traveling along the coast. However, the ship has not moved recently, and no one from it has responded to the group's rescue flares. Luther takes Alice to the last inmate, Chris, who insists he is falsely imprisoned and will reveal an escape route in exchange for freedom. Alice goes to the showers to wash up, but catches Wendell attempting to peep. Holding him at gunpoint, they are attacked by a group of infected that dug into the prison. They take Wendell, but Alice wards off the rest, which I don't think that's true. I'm pretty sure he just dies right there.
Hey, can I talk about that shower sequence for a moment? So we start that scene, the shower head is on, then we cut to the wide, the shower head is off, then we cut back to the closest, the shower head's on, and the sound is it is like one of the most bafflingly edited scenes I've ever seen of just like the most blatant continuity error.
Well, water's invisible. You can see through it, so maybe just the light was shining the right way in that shot.
Water's invisible. I also had a note about the shower scene, but it was a different note. I'm like, why do they have running water? It's been, again, in my notes, I thought that this was a stacked time skip on top of the last one. So in my notes, I wrote nearly 10 years, but it's been over half a decade. How the fuck do they still have running water in this fucking prison?
It's sewer water.
No. They even demonstrate later, like, yeah, the lower levels of the building are flooded because the pumps stopped working. So even in the movie, they're like, yeah, water pumps don't really work anymore. There's no power grid. I know that's like a nitpick, and you know, these movies are far beyond caring about shit like that, but it did bother me.
Thomas, call your best friend Paul W.S. Anderson. He's got to answer for a few things.
We're gonna get him on the show.
And before this, when Alice, Jesus Christ, almost forgot her fucking name, finds Claire, she's like, I haven't seen you in 18 months, and it's like, it's been over 5 years, and like, again, it says 4 years after, but even then that doesn't make sense because it says 6 months ago. Alice has only been gone for 6 months, and then in the line she says it was 18 months ago.
Frank, she doesn't have a calendar. This is the apocalypse.
You're right.
She could just be very bad at counting days.
Her calendar's her vlogging camera, which she somehow charges.
Yeah, she's only human now, of course. She doesn't have a super brain that can track the years and the days that have passed.
She's just a girl.
Mm-hmm.
They also say later, Claire's like, we arrived a few days before you got here.
Yeah.
So she went to Japan and came back in the time it took them to go to Alaska or whatever.
Even though it says 6 months later on screen. And it didn't have to. That was the other thing, is like, none of these time skips matter. All of this could have happened like within a week of the last movie. It would have made no difference, but they go out of their way to make references to like these huge chunks of time where the characters are separated from each other. And it doesn't matter at all. They created continuity errors for themselves for no reason. And how much of this movie, I thought at this point, is going to be Alice flying planes? Because that's been like most of the movie so far.
They must have taught her that as head of security.
Just like that film director.
Jesse, what did you think of the character we see in the flashback, Kmart? Do you remember that?
I remember a character named Kmart. And
she comes back at the end.
Yes, she does. My brain was like, most of my watching was like trying to pick apart who was in a video game and who is new. And as soon as I heard the name was Kmart, I was like, yeah, that's a film original if there ever was one.
It's like Joss Whedon referencing Walmart buying Weyland Yutani and Alien Resurrection. Weirdly out of place.
She's named Kmart because they found her in a Kmart parking lot.
That's true.
And it dates this because Kmarts don't exist. Like,
nope.
In 10, 15 years from now, people are like, what the fuck is that?
They'll be like, she does ketamine?
That's probably what they will think, yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe in 10, 15 years, ketamine will be out of fashion and people won't know what that is either.
I hope not.
And now we just call Kmart like something else. Like it gets a revival, like Toys R Us.
I love how, again, the apocalypse has been going on for years, like over half a decade. And these guys think that Chris is somehow an inmate from before the outbreak, as if anybody would have been feeding him or, taking care of him as a prisoner in those 5 fucking years. Because they don't believe his story. They don't believe that he was trapped in there by the inmates who were somehow there for 5 years, which also doesn't make any sense.
Think about it now, the timeline of the prison and the overall outbreak is a little confusing because it sounds like they've been there simultaneously in the prison for like years, but also like a couple days.
Yeah.
And also, why was the whole city of LA on fire?
Well, that's kind of just how California is, I guess. As if we learned anything from last year.
5 years into the apocalypse, and there's like, oh my god, it's LA, and there's like 20,000 fires all over.
Also, when Alice flies overhead, she says, I don't see any people down there. And then we get to the prison, and there's a crowd of millions surrounding the building.
Yeah, she's like, I don't even see any zombies.
I'm grateful for like her being able to text and drive like with her webcam.
Yeah.
That's for me. She did that for me, so I'd understand.
Yes.
They should have had her drinking and flying.
Yeah. She's human now. She should celebrate the benefits of that, like drinking and flying.
The small human things.
I did have a weird question. If she has superpowers and is a clone, does she still like have to go to the bathroom and stuff, or is she kind of bred beyond that? And if so, becoming human again, does she now have to return to a state of pooping?
That would be pretty scary.
She pulverized the poop and pee inside herself with her mental powers.
It's unclear. We never see her use the bathroom, but we do see her naked at one point.
This is the first movie that we don't.
I saw that in trivia.
Yes. I don't know. Well, let's
we'll put a pin in that and come back to it later.
We'll ask Mr. Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Anderson. Speaking of Mr. Anderson, Wesker looks so much like Agent Smith. I kept thinking the guy who plays him must have been like one of the background agents in the Matrix sequels or something. He wasn't. He's some Canadian actor, but he's got that jawline, and Wesker is already kind of ripping off the like Neo Agent Smith look in RE5. RE5 is so stupid. In the first movie, Wesker is just like your SWAT team captain who betrays you. And then by the time the 5th game comes around, he's got Matrix powers and he's got like the super speed and stuff.
Which I was confused about because they did not explain it in any of the other mainline games. I think it's explained in maybe Code Veronica, but I didn't play that one. So he's just speeding around. I'm like, okay, what did I miss here? So I had to go on the wiki.
It's always a good sign when you have to go to the wiki to figure out why the villain, is existing the way he does. Let's move on, right? No more notes here? Okay.
I have like 20,000 more notes.
Okay.
Frank has things to do today, Thomas.
It's not even just that. It's like, I know you don't want to talk about it. But here's the thing. We're doing the world a favor because if we get through this plot synopsis, no one will ever have to watch this movie again for the rest of history.
But this is the best one, allegedly, so far.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's good. Desperate, they free Chris, who reveals that Claire is his sister, and the prison has an armored car that they can use to escape. However, a giant axe-wielding monster begins breaking down the gate. Alice, Chris, and Crystal go to the basement armory to get more guns, but zombies kill Crystal en route, as if anything else would have ever happened to Crystal. She's not none of these people from the Prisoner game characters, aside from Chris.
She could have been a meth head.
Oh, yeah, sure. I don't even know if the movies are clever enough to make that kind of shallow pun.
It took me a second, Thomas, but good one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Luther and Claire reinforce the gate. Angel informs Bennett and Young the car is missing its engine and would take a week to fix. Bennett shoots Angel and heads for Arcadia and Alice's airplane. The Axeman? That's what we're calling him? Okay. The Axeman breaks down the gate, allowing the zombies into the prison. The group decides to use the zombie-dug tunnels to escape into the sewers. Young is slashed in half by the Axeman while Alice is knocked out. Claire successfully defends Alice and disorients the Axeman, after which Alice kills it by firing at its head. We don't need this much detail for this. However, Luther is dragged into the tunnels by a zombie.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Who made the Axeman? Who is he's not a zombie, like...
Yeah, I had that thought too. I think it's strange that no one really seems to care that there's a giant 10-foot man wielding a giant axe. They're just like, yeah, shoot that guy in the head.
He looks more like Pyramid Head or something out of Silent Hill.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah. But
He's in the fifth game.
Yeah, I was about to say he's an enemy type in RE5.
But in RE5, they aren't so much as like mindless zombies. They're more just like crazy people. So I feel like it makes more sense in there. But like with all these undead zombie people, I don't see how this guy fits into it.
That's weird.
What if he just wants to be friends and he's just showing up like, hey guys, I want to help get out the zombie apocalypse.
I know how to fix the engine. Let me in.
Yeah, he's just a mechanic.
Oh, come on, I want to be friends.
There isn't even like an umbrella facility here, because in the other movies, there's like other monsters that show up, like kind of like the dogs. But it's like those are experiments. There's no explanation for this guy. He's just by himself wandering the streets.
He's just a guy.
It would have been so much funnier if, what is his name in this movie? Bennett. If Bennett crashed the plane immediately after going over the side with it.
I thought that was going to happen. I was laughing because I was expecting it, and then it didn't happen. I felt stupid for laughing.
Yeah.
Bennett's like my favorite guy. I love him.
He's in Sons of Anarchy, which is the best stupid show ever made. I highly recommend it if you want something stupid to watch. He plays like a weird sex freak. It's all I could see him as in this movie. I think he a corpse at one point. It's a crazy show.
In this?
No,
I must have missed that one.
No, in this it would make more sense. Alice's escape from the rooftop, I thought was like glorious.
It's kind of cool.
The most over-the-top stupid action ever. I found myself entertained by it in the most shallow way possible.
And she also blew up the elevator like 3 feet above them and then just dropped it down into water.
I was also wondering why she did that. I thought she might have just killed her friends.
She gets down and like, where are they? They're all dead.
She did the math. It would be fine.
But she's not a superhuman.
She's not superhuman anymore, even though we just saw her like swing 5,000 feet across a rope. And yeah.
What if it's just a placebo and she just thinks that she's not super? He just gave her like
that would be a great fucking twist, honestly.
And she just needs the confidence again to be superhuman.
Yeah, if they didn't show that stupid shot of her bloodstream with the T-shaped blood cells. Like, okay, that could, you could have done that.
That was just her picturing in her head.
I'm already writing better scenarios for this movie. I'm excited to get to the climax because it did not feel like a climax to a movie. I'll tell you what.
I liked when they were fighting the Axeman and they had Claire shoot him in the head and it didn't kill him. And then they were like, hold up, let me put my OPOC in there. And then she does the same thing and it kills him and it blows his head up.
With the same gun, same bullets, right? Like, no difference there, just who's pulling the trigger. I
did like that she collected the quarters earlier and then used them for her shotgun rounds, which I don't think is how that works. But
no,
I thought it was kind of funny.
But it was fun. It's stupid. Doesn't make any sense, but
I liked how they went to go get guns, and then when they got back, they had like 2 guns.
Right.
There's like, we have all the armor, like all the guns we need down here, and they're like, yeah, we'll take like 2
pistols or something. Yeah. That whole expedition where one of them dies was for nothing, basically, because they walk out of there with practically nothing. Mm-hmm.
Alice and the Redfields board the Arcadia, discovering it functional but abandoned. Claire then remembers Arcadia is an umbrella trap to get test subjects after her convoy escaped to Alaska. They release the survivors, including Kmart, from Claire's group. Alice follows a trail of blood deeper into the ship, where she finds Wesker. The T-virus revived him, but it battles Wesker for control, something he believes fresh human DNA can pacify. The Umbrella staff fled when he began eating test subjects. I didn't get that, but okay. Alice's DNA is superior to his since she retained control despite bonding with the virus at a cellular level. Wesker believes eating her will help him regain control of his body.
Oh boy. Yeah, no, I didn't get a lot of that either. We've found that these plot summaries on Wikipedia, they're better at explaining things than the movie is. They're really doing the work for Anderson here.
You said Matrix. Yeah, this definitely felt like we're trying to be the Matrix.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Especially Wesker's got an outfit change. He's got a snakeskin trench coat.
It's so cool. That's from the game.
It is from the game, which doesn't make it any less stupid.
Well, it looks better in the game, but I was surprised that they did that. It's pretty drippy.
It's weird, too, that they're pulling from the games that are now contemporary, because RE5 came out a year before this.
Oh, yeah. I feel like they had to be working hand in hand almost.
They've already caught up to the shit that they're stealing from the games for. Like,
they're going to run out of stuff.
Yeah.
The thing that frustrates me about this moment is Wexler's not really a character. What is his name? Wessler?
It's Wesker, but I
Wesker.
wasn't going to bother correcting you because it's like, he doesn't matter. None of this matters.
How dare you?
We see him for 5 seconds at the start.
Yep.
And then we don't see him again. And then when she shows up, she's like, I thought it would be you. And I'm almost like
why?
You're alone there.
Yeah.
I would never have thought that.
I did catch myself thinking when they take the little boat to the cargo freighter, I'm thinking like, man, we haven't seen any of Wesker or the Umbrella Corporation this whole fucking movie since the first like 10 minutes, and suddenly we're back. There's the fight with Wesker, very Matrixy, with Chris, which I believe is the one that they said is pulled almost shot for shot from RE5.
Yes, the glasses.
Did you orgasm?
Multiple times. I had to pause the movie after.
Wesker says a line about like how it's all one big family reunion, and he's like, it makes it seem like he's got this sort of history with Chris and Claire that he does not have, because we've only been introduced to Chris like 40 minutes ago, and Claire's been in these movies. I mean, I guess maybe 50 minutes total. He doesn't know these people. We don't even know these people. It feels like fan service for an entirely different series of movies that have led up to that moment. Like an alternate reality where they did make faithful Resident Evil films, and that this is some kind of fan servicey payoff or exchange for a different version of these characters we never met.
Did Claire and Chris really get a moment to like, hey, so what's your vibe? Like, they're siblings. I don't remember a single conversation between them aside from, hey, that's my sister.
She has amnesia.
It's also funny, too, because Alice has amnesia in the first movie, and you think, okay, well, maybe they can bond over that or relate to each other at all. No. There's not a single line, I think, where Alice is like, hey, I had amnesia too. I know what it's like. I know what you're going through. And you've used the amnesia cliche twice, really 3 times, because Jill is also from the game. The blonde lady who shows up for 5 seconds at the end. That's also from 5. Jill was also in one of the games and one of the movies. But it's like you're using the amnesia thing and you're not even like getting the most out of it. It sucks.
When Captain Marvel is doing better than you.
Yeah. I also was asking myself, I mean, I guess it's the next paragraph, but who fucking cares? Is Bennett based on some Hollywood producer that Anderson was scorned by?
Oh. All Hollywood producers are really good guys. I don't think so.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I don't know. I just thought it was funny because like these are all like German productions shot in Canada. It's like Anderson's clearly not a Hollywood guy in the sense that he's going to studios for like funding for these, like American Hollywood studios. So it's like, I wonder if he had like some bad experience before this working on something else.
This is the producer of fucking Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe. I wonder. It could just be the performance. I mean, you know, like the actor decided to do something weird, but it strikes me as maybe like a reference to some shithead producer that he didn't like.
I did think it was funny that they're like, oh yeah, we're in LA. And then the people that she runs into in the prison are a producer, his assistant, an actor, and like a sports player.
Yeah. I didn't think about that. Oh, well, don't forget the Peeping Tom, who gets no expansion of his character beyond he's a pervert.
Well, also when they first show him when he's guarding Chris, which I don't know why they have to guard him, but he's reading like a Playboy magazine.
Yeah, so that's Hollywood. He's just the pervert. Okay, great.
I'm about to say, this makes Hollywood look a lot better than it is in real life, so.
Yeah, those shots of Los Angeles, yeah. They're more appealing, yeah.
Those were unedited.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just what it's like now.
The Redfields fight Wesker while Alice battles Bennett. Now working for Wesker. Wesker easily overpowers Chris and Claire. And can I just say, I think it's so funny that this random producer guy is now Wesker's right hand. He's not a guy with powers or anything. He's just a regular guy, and he stabs Alice with a knife.
I kind of was thinking earlier in the movie, because he was kind of like comically evil, and I was kind of wondering, I was like, is he part of Umbrella or something? And then when he went there and like crashed the plane, I was like, oh, so maybe he is part of Umbrella. And then he's working with Wesker. I'm like, oh, so he's definitely Umbrella, but he's just a guy.
It's just a guy. Alice is able to defeat both Bennett and Wesker with the help of Kmart. They lock Bennett in the room to be devoured by Wesker when he revives. Wesker then escapes in an aircraft, activating a bomb on the Arcadia. The plane explodes instead as Alice placed the bomb there beforehand. Unbeknownst to them, Wesker parachutes away from the explosion, with Luther emerging from the sewers, battered but alive.
I don't remember seeing him parachute away.
I don't either. I just remember him exploding. Alice resolves to turn Arcadia into a real haven and broadcasts a new message for any other survivors. It's the same message. As Alice, Claire, and Chris watch over from Arcadia, it is approached by a squadron of Umbrella aircraft. Where are these people coming from?
Japan.
The last movie makes it seem like no, Japan, it's a sinkhole. They blew it up. The last movie says that's like their last fucking place.
I thought it was the biggest one.
Whatever. I don't know.
I hate to derail this, but I want to posit a theory based on a question that Frank asked earlier. Frank asked, do you think that Bennett is based on any film Hollywood producer that Paul W.S. Anderson worked with? I do have a headcanon. No proof of this. The sole producer of Mortal Kombat, who he obviously had a really not great relationship with, he did not come back for the sequel and he resents that sequel, is Lawrence Kasanoff. Do you guys know who that is?
I'm not familiar off the top of my head, no.
He is like the main guy that runs the entire Mortal Kombat. He's still technically in name only the producer of the new Mortal Kombat movies. He's also a very difficult man who's not good with working with people. And I think his most famous claim to fame is being the writer, director, and producer of a little film called Food Fight.
Oh, God.
Smosh?
No. Different Food Fight. I know the one that he's talking about. Jesse, do you want to describe Food Fight to Thomas?
Food Fight is a film built off of product placements where basically it's Toy Story, where the grocery store, after the store closes, you have all these food icons that hang out. You got Mr. Clean, you got the Pringles man, you got all this. And it's got an all-star cast of like Hilary Duff and Charlie Sheen and all that. Are you looking at footage of this right now?
I feel like I need to.
I put the wiki page in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
The wiki page does not do it justice.
That's true.
Oh, the tuna guy.
Yes. And famously, this was a film that was supposed to release in 1999. And
it took him a long time then. It came out in 2012.
Lawrence Kasanoff claimed because of internal sabotage, the entire film was stolen, and they had to rebuild it over the years. Thomas, you got to look at some footage of this because you see that it looks like, it's a movie, but you got to look at what it actually looks like.
Yes, I've seen footage of this. I got it. I'll find you a clip.
But Food Fight is his baby, and everyone says he's like the worst guy to work with.
Oh, this looks like a direct-to-video movie.
This looks like something you'd watch in driver's training.
Why is he moving like this?
I don't know.
That's how everyone moves in this movie, Thomas.
This is like a shit post. It looks like he's having like a full body seizure or something, walking around.
I'm a little relieved because I thought you were going to say that the producer was Harvey Weinstein.
No. I will never pick the obvious answer. I think it's Lawrence Kasanoff, the director, writer, producer, and spearheader of Food Fight.
I'm perplexed by this. Why is there a woman with cat ears?
That's Hilary Duff. She has like, oh god, I think she's a raisin. No, the dog is a raisin thing. She's some kind of cookie.
We got to move on.
No, we don't.
I think we need to watch this right now.
Just do a commentary for Food Fight in the middle of the episode.
Wait, why is he huge now? He's like 800 feet tall.
Did he like steal the Jolly Green Giant's powers or something? Okay.
Don't spoil it.
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet.
There's not much to spoil with this movie. It's like Resident Evil Afterlife.
Thomas, please read the end of this so we can get the fuck out of here.
But was anyone confused how Wesker got past them? Because he was behind a closed door?
Yeah. And how Alice knew he was going to take that particular plane. Yeah, no,
It was the closest to the door.
Oh wait, before we go into like that final paragraph, my favorite part of this movie is when they all just point their guns and shoot him to death.
Oh, that was hilarious.
No clever thinking. Nothing like that really is like, oh, well, that's smart. No, we just brutally shoot this man. That will show up in the sequels, I'm sure.
Yeah, it made me laugh.
I thought they were going to curb stomp him, which if they just destroyed the head, I feel like that'd be okay.
Well, we see the side of his head, and it's like hollow.
That was pretty cool.
I did think that was a convincing effect.
During a mid-credits scene in one of the aircraft, Jill Valentine, who went missing after the destruction of Raccoon City, news to me because we didn't see her after that movie, is dictating the attack wearing the same mind control device used on Claire.
Yeah, which is like that little red gem thing, which is from RE5, yep.
Yeah.
Do you think on opening night, when that mid-credit scene popped up, the audience clapped and applauded that their favorite character is back?
I know Frank would have because he likes Jill.
I do like Jill, and even in the game, she gets fucked over. She's the lead in 1 and 3, and then she disappears for like over 10 years until she pops up in 5 as like Wesker's mind-controlled subordinate. They don't treat the women in that series with as much respect as they should. Like, if you're not Leon or Chris, there's a good chance you'll just disappear for 10 years. And like, you know, Jesse, you asked early about Chris and Claire and their chemistry. In the games, they only interact in one of them. Despite being siblings, they're only in one game together. Otherwise, they're in completely different games from each other. And they never interact. I mean, maybe they do. I haven't played Code Veronica, but from what I've seen, the whole premise is that you're switching between the two characters. They're in different spots on the island or something, or they come one after the other. And like the items you don't take with one will be available for the second one to take as like a gameplay thing.
These are weird games, guys.
They are weird games. They're good though. They actually are really good.
They're awesome. We'll record it for you and then send it to you on a DVD.
Yeah, right. I've streamed the first one on Twitch. The first 1, 2, 4, 8, and 9, right? Nobody needs to watch those though.
Frank Broadcasts on
making a good
Twitch.
point.
Subscribe
Yes.
today.
I think we should get a PSVR 2 and make Jesse play RE7 in VR.
I think Jesse would like the VR version of. Do you like VR, Jesse?
I played one Five Nights at Freddy's game in VR and I got motion sick.
Well, I think you can make an exception for RE8. There's a particular character I think you would be fond of. You might already be familiar with her.
Nope.
Okay.
Wait, no, big titty girl. Yes,
The giant vampire.
giant big titty lady.
Yeah, so if you play that in VR, you get to experience that.
See, now you're selling me on this.
I only have one note left in my doc about the movie itself, like while watching it, and that's in the credits. I think there's an error because there's a credit that says additional guitar, and the G in guitar is lowercase, which is weird. It's the only like job title in the credits that's not capitalized, you know, with every word. So I think they just forgot to capitalize guitar in the credits of their $60 million movie.
This ruined the whole movie for me.
Can I tell you a dumb thing that I discovered making a movie about movie end credits?
Yes, please.
Eventually, as an indie filmmaker, you realize you're just going to do everything yourself. But every film reaches out to like 4 different companies that they have to use for end credits. And I reached out to one of them.
You can't just do it yourself?
No, you are not allowed to do it yourself. Another thing that you're not allowed to just do.
What?
That's crazy.
So you provide them all your sheets and all that. And I just was like talking to them about like opening and closing credits. And she said, oh yeah, our starting base is around $25,000.
What?
And she's like, you know, you could just go on After Effects and do this yourself because that's all we do.
Yeah, what the fuck?
And I'm just like, man, movies are a money suck. So legally, I'm pretty sure that it's mostly like the legal double checks and all that. And
Right.
that are going into that. But someone really important got paid a lot of money to do these credits that look like garbage. I'm pulling it up right now and I'm like, yeah.
If you get near the bottom, there's one that says additional guitar, lowercase g in guitar.
No, you see, there's guitars with capital G's and there's guitars with lowercase g's.
Right.
There's a difference.
I have to use the bathroom real quick. Just number one. I'll be back in a couple minutes.
It's always something with you, Frank.
Yeah.
He gets up and there's poop stains on
I
him.
well, my coffee is now empty. I guess I could stay here and just listen to this if that's what you want,
Might ruin the audio. I don't know.
or enhance it. Depends on who's listening.
If you have a consistent stream, we can just breathe that out of there.
Yeah. Consistent stream.
We should time him. Okay, it's 11:45.
5 hours later.
So we're done with the plot discussion.
Thank God.
Let's
Unfortunately.
ask the regular. Yeah, I know. I wish I could go on forever. So let's ask the questions here. Did it work? Did it work as a sequel to the events of Extinction?
Jesse, what do you think?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think it did. Like, especially because of the fact that nothing is extinct. There's a lot of people, and it's not a Mad Max hellscape anymore. Like, it really pushed forward.
They follow through on the Alaska thing and the clone thing and the superpowers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all very quickly done away with, but it does follow it up. So I'm gonna say yes.
This one felt like the most sequel of these movies because the other ones feel like they're just movies tied together by name only. But this one felt like it actually kind of referenced events from the past movie. Because in the last one, they kind of just skipped from 2 to 3 after like 5 years. But in this one, they're pretty close together, and like the events of the last film kind of impact this one. They go hand in hand. So
Yeah. And did it work as an adaptation of the games? I haven't played Resident Evil 5. I know it's not necessarily an adaptation, but it certainly seems like it pulls a lot of iconography from at least RE5. And Wesker is maybe halfway there. I mean, the answer as always is no, of course not. None of these are good adaptations of the game, but I guess maybe this one does get some of it closer than the third one, certainly. I still think the second one and the first one are better at capturing the spirit of the games, you know, just with like the structure of the locations and stuff. Does it work as a standalone movie? Jesse?
No.
No?
I wish I could say I had more fun, but dumb action doesn't really make me laugh the way that, you know, dumb melodrama does. And I love dumb melodrama. And this series, based on what I've seen, is like anti-melodrama. Like they refuse to have any sort, like brother and sister meeting for the first time in years. Nothing to do with that. We ain't touching it.
that's boring. We don't care about that.
Yeah, we just want to see stuff blow up. We want to see Alice. In the second movie, she does like a motorcycle jump through a stained glass window somehow. That made me laugh.
The only thing that made me laugh as far as action in this movie, there was one thing.
Yes.
And it's when she accidentally breaks glass above her. The glass is tumbling down.
Yes,
and she
yes.
kicks a shard of glass into the dog. Somehow it doesn't shatter and splits it like in half.
Yes. In all fairness, the dog was already split kind of in half.
Okay.
Because it's like the one from The Thing. But yeah, so like she splits it more in half. That was so goofy.
That's my favorite part.
No, I think as a standalone movie, yeah, it sucks, but for somebody like us who's had to sit through the first three, we'll take what we can get at this point. And this is by far like the most competently made action movie of the four, which they're all trying to be action movies, and this is the only one that really succeeds most of the time. I mean, it's stupid. Don't get me wrong. Like, I heard this complaint too when we were ranking the DCEU movies in our season wrap-up episode. People are like, you gave Aquaman an A and like the Suicide Squad an S. And it's like, well, yeah, compared to this shit. I'm not saying that Aquaman is an A movie compared to like Citizen Kane or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, and it's the same way here. Like, Afterlife is the best of these by a wide margin. This is a great movie by Resident Evil movie standards.
Afterlife is better than Citizen Kane, and I'm not afraid to say that.
No.
I haven't seen it.
No, yes, you have. Yes,
No.
Don't even fucking say that. Yes, you have.
I
You were
haven't.
definitely forced to watch it in one of our classes. Yes, you were.
I didn't. I have
Bullshit.
I was gonna write a superhero version of it, but I never finished it.
Wait.
Having not seen it, I write my own interpretation of it.
What would happen? Wait. I want to follow this road.
So he becomes a superhero called the Citizen, and his name is Kane, and Rosebud is a sled that he rides around the city on.
Oh, I don't like this anymore. I did have some umbrage to take with mostly you, Thomas.
Uh-oh.
Why is Birds of Prey so low on your list?
I didn't enjoy it that much.
In the episode, you said you did. I was there.
Like it's good, but it just didn't resonate with me as much as some of the other movies, like Zack Snyder's Justice League.
I guess, but more than Batman v Superman.
No, that movie spoke to me on a deep level. Birds of Prey just had too many women in it.
I guess, like, yeah. I mean, Wonder Woman had one woman in it, and that was too much.
Yeah, they were already pushing it.
Thank God there wasn't 84 of them like I thought there was going to be in the sequel.
That's why it ranks above Wonder Woman 84. Frank, no complaints with your ranking. Your ranking feels about right to me.
All right, good.
So we'll move on to the aftermath of the release here with the critical and audience response. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a critic score of 21% and an audience score of 48%. I think that's shockingly low for both of them.
I don't know, but well, I mean, here's the thing. It's not good, but like it's at least constructed like a movie. Like it is an action movie in the sense that there are scenes, there are like fights that are choreographed. When I read a critic score of 21, I'm thinking of something like Birdemic, or it's something that's like not even a movie in structure. Like it has no, I mean, this doesn't have like a good conclusion. So I guess I'm trying to say is like, it is a movie. It's got, you know what I'm trying to say? Like I'd rather watch this than Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad's funnier than this.
This is, well, yeah, but it also gives me a headache because of the editing, which this does not.
Wait, do you think he means the Suicide Squad?
No,
I
I mean
don't.
I mean David Ayer's.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
David Ayer would take issue with me calling it that, but the final version of the final version of Suicide Squad. Damn, this
If
fucking
David
titles.
Ayer does get his David Ayer cut, are you guys gonna do a bonus special episode?
Yes, absolutely.
We're gonna live stream it from Zack Snyder's theater.
I want to quickly compare this to previous Rotten Tomatoes scores. It's the second lowest in the series, behind Apocalypse. And this is the lowest Rotten Tomatoes score the series will ever have, aside from the final chapter, which is 47, versus this one's 48.
Oh, for audience.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I feel like even really shitty movies have high audience scores, so I'm surprised that this is this low.
Well, that's because general audiences are like cattle. They're they're very stupid. Especially the people that are like rating shit like this like really highly on Rotten Tomatoes, you know. I'm not trying to call everybody who's not me stupid or something. I'm just saying like this is yeah, I mean kind of I am, but it's like this is a movie franchise where it grosses more and more. And this one literally, as we're about to get to, grossed double the last film's profits. More than double the last film's profits. So like stupid people are seeing these movies and they're seeing them in increasing numbers.
I think that it was just I want to feel up my girlfriend in a movie theater, and this is what's out.
While watching Mila Jovovich kick ass.
I guess that's true. It's like you're better off doing that here than if you're watching The Legend of the Guardians, The Owls of Ga'Hoole.
On Metacritic, it has a Metascore of 37 and a user score of 5.6, and it got a cinema score of B-.
This is our second B- in a row, which is the lowest in the series.
Shocking that that's the lowest for these.
Lowest user score on Metacritic as well. Second highest Metacritic critic score thus far, though.
And as for the box office, it had a budget of $60 million. On its opening weekend, it made $26 million. It ended up with a total domestic gross of $60 million, an international gross of $240 million, for a total box office of $300.2 million, which was about $240 million in net profit, which was more than double the last film's profit.
This is the highest domestic opening weekend the series has had, the highest domestic total, the highest international total. It's just unstoppable at this point. And I tried to find an answer for why this film in particular at this point in time made so much more money than the last one, because the last one grossed $147 million.
Could it be the 3D? Could it be that much of a draw?
I did think about that because 3D tickets are priced higher than normal tickets. That could be part of it. I did look up like where it was making a lot of money in different regions, and surprisingly China was not one of them. It only made like 17 million in China. It made like 48 million or something like that in Japan, which
That makes
is
sense.
Yeah, it made a lot in Japan. Most of the time the Japanese box office for these films are at least equal to the domestic one in the US. And then a lot of people seeing it in places like Spain or France or Germany. It's kind of all over the place, though. It's an even spread. There's no real countries outside of the US and Japan that are sticking out to me. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why this one made so much more. I guess the 3D, I guess maybe just like Jesse said at the top of the episode, it was kind of a dead zone.
People want Mila Jovovich, and I think that's just all the culture needs her.
I guess so. I mean, I'm thinking like, as far as action films go around this time, what action stars were there? What action franchises were still in play?
Oh, Liam Neeson, yeah.
Taken, maybe Fast and Furious.
Transformers.
Yeah, but those are robots. Nobody's going to see that for Shia LaBeouf or whatever.
I was going for Megan Fox.
Yeah. Okay. I guess that's true. It's like people are going to see Mila Jovovich.
Are they?
She is an action star because of these movies. Like she is. It's kind of undeniable. These are action movies. They make more and more money each time. And it's like, what was the action movie landscape looking like around the turn of the decade? So obviously with such a cash cow in their hands, only making more and more money, a fifth film was inevitable. And we will be covering that next week with Resident Evil Retribution. But before we end the show, we wanted to jump forward a little bit and talk about the new Resident Evil trailer, which just came out 2 days ago at the time of recording. So what do we think of the new Resident Evil so far?
It looks better than what I saw of Afterlife.
How dare you?
Zach Krager is I loved Weapons. I did not like Barbarian very much, so he's 1 for 2 for me. This could either be something I really like or something that I'm kind of shrug off. It is the most interested I've been in a Resident Evil product.
It looks good. Like, it looks like a good horror movie. And when I went around to like different movie communities online that I'll sometimes check out, like, people seemed excited for it. Like, movie fans want to see this. It looks good. And then I went to the Resident Evil communities, and it was nothing but pure hatred and vitriol. They are just like, where's Jill? Where's Chris? Where's the Umbrella Corporation? I don't see the logo anywhere. It's just like, they're like, monkeys in some kind of lab experiment. They're just waiting to like ring a bell once they see something they recognize. I don't know. I don't think they'll ever be satisfied. I think gamers are a very whiny bunch that can't be happy with anything. Much like comic book fans. They're obsessed with this idea of like one-to-one accuracy to the source material. And it's like, well, I don't care if you change things if it makes for a better product. Also, if I wanted the story from the first game, I just play the first game. I don't need to see somebody dressed up as Jill and Chris and reenact that on a screen.
You'd get the Last of Us TV show, which doesn't work because it's just the video game.
Exactly. And that game already felt like an HBO show half the time when I was playing it anyway.
I think it looks good, and it like captures the kind of aesthetic of Resident Evil, especially like from 7, and it looks scary, which is more than could be said about any of the other Resident Evil films, at least the Anderson ones. We haven't really seen the reboot ones, but I'm assuming those probably aren't scary either. But Resident Evil did first and foremost come out as a horror game, so I'd like there to be some scary bits.
Yeah. And you make a good point bringing up 7, Thomas, because for the uninitiated, i.e. Jesse, Resident Evil 7 came out. Okay, Resident Evil 6 is the peak of these stupid action ones that started with 4, where it's like a giant Michael Bay movie. It's like a really long, really bad game. It made a lot of money, but it didn't make enough money to meet their expectations, and everybody hated it. And so they took several years off. They took 5 years off. They didn't make a new Resident Evil for 5 years, a mainline game. Resident Evil 7 comes out. There are no characters, no factions, no locations, no iconography at all, other than like, I don't know, the green herbs that you heal with that are like familiar to people who play the games. It's inspired by Blair Witch and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Evil Dead. And it's like set in the Louisiana Bayou. And it's, again, just a completely new story, new characters. And I feel like back then, people weren't as hostile towards it as they are towards this movie, which is kind of the same thing where it's like you're not seeing any familiar faces, but if the end product is something that captures the spirit of the game, who cares?
I think that people are just pissed because they haven't gotten a truly authentic, like one-to-one Resident Evil movie. So I think that they just get mad that they're like, oh, well, we haven't had an authentic and real version of the movies, and we're getting this random BS by like Zach Krager. It's not even canon or whatever. They're just mad about that.
You're probably right, but I also think those same people don't really know what they want. I think if they got exactly what they're asking for, they wouldn't be satisfied with that either.
It was just like the game.
Yeah, exactly. I said audiences are like cattle earlier, and they like, you should not listen to fans. You should not listen to general audiences and cater to their every whim, because that's how you get shit like Rise of Skywalker. Like, you do not do that. Just make something good. Give the audience something that they don't know that they want. Don't cater their every whim. So yeah, I think it looks good. I'm pretty excited for it.
I think it'll be a good time, and I hope you guys will cover it on the podcast when it comes out.
Oh, that's going to be, we're going to be covering that on the Monday after it comes out. It comes out on the 18th, and we've timed the release of these episodes so that our review goes up on the 21st.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be good. I think we might just record it right after we leave the theater. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
How will I take notes on it? I love to take notes during these movies.
You pull out your phone and you turn the brightness up all the way.
All the way
if
up.
you have your ringer on, that's even better.
I have the typing noises. Bloop, 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 bloop.
And have some YouTube video essay playing in the background to keep you stimulated.
I'll have Subway Surfers on an iPad next to me.
When I went to go see Across the Spider-Verse, a woman next to me brought her entire laptop and was working on like her thesis.
What the fuck?
Why even bother going?
I know. I saw the re-release of Spider-Man 2 a few years ago, and there was a kid with like, the broccoli hair in front of me on his phone, full brightness. And I said, turn your phone off. And he said, why do you care? And I wanted to just peel the hair off his scalp. I was so fucking angry. I was already angry, but as soon as he said that, it like kicked up into another gear. Like, theater etiquette is so bad.
So I crushed his skull.
Well, that's when I just pull up my phone and I call like the whatever theater I'm at office, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm in theater D. There's this douchebag right in front of me that won't put his phone away. Can you take care of him?"
I thought you were going to say I called 911.
I called 911.
I normally just scream at people. I just tell them to shut the fuck up or put their phone away. I did it the proper way once. The usher came in, gave him a stern talking to. 5 minutes after the usher leaves, they pulled it out again. I left the theater to go get the usher a second time. Then the same thing happens, except they just kept it put away for 10 minutes instead of 5. And at that point, I was like, all right, I give up. I tried to do this the right way because this lady was with her kid. It was for the re-release of Phantom Menace. And it's like, we're about to get to the fucking pod race, and this fucking lady is on her phone, and it's super distracting. But I don't want to scream at her in front of her kid. Like, I'm not a monster.
She's looking up pictures of Sebulba and Watto.
Yeah, right. Ben Quadraneros and Sebulba, all those favorites.
Ben Quadraneros, Rule 34.
What about the camel thing that farted on Jar Jar?
Yeah, that was pretty hot. Since we had you on last season when we were talking about DC stuff,
Yes.
did you have any thoughts on the new trailer for Clayface?
That looks amazing. It is the most anticipated comic book thing I've had in a long time. Written by Mike Flanagan. Incredible. I hope that it lives up to it. My partner and in all things Miranda, you know her. She's like, I think you might have to go see that first to let me know if I can take it, because she loves horror movies, can take most things, loves zombie. She cannot deal with body horror. One of our earliest movie dates was to the film Tusk, and she was actually real life really angry at me for several weeks after that.
Did you tell Kevin that?
I did not go to talk to Kevin. I went to talk to the distribution man that spoke after Kevin. So I talked to him several times since then. But what am I going to say to Kevin Smith aside from...
I'm suing you. Emotional distress.
Well, Jesse, thanks for coming on the show.
It's
do
an
you have
honor.
anything you'd like to plug?
Yes. I'd like to plug my mouth because I kept interrupting you wonderful fellas. No, it is truly an honor to be on this show. I enjoy it. I listen to it every week. I am a avid fan. It is great sleep aid. You guys have very calming voices, and it pisses me off because I'm like, well, now I got to re-listen to it.
He just said we put him to sleep.
Because I'll listen to you guys to get to sleep, and then on my commute the next day I'll pick up where I last remember. But I have a podcast called The Cheese Wheel presently, but in July we will be rebranding back to Musicals with Cheese, our show, and I'm trying to get Frank on sometime this year. So after July we're going to be covering a lot of musicals. It'll be a great time, and it'll be fun. Have you guys thought about making a Patreon? Because you can support my Patreon at Musicals with Cheese.
We thought about it. I don't think we have enough stuff out there yet to justify it.
It'll come, and then you'll be like, how am I gonna appease the patrons?
If you set up the page, they will come.
You're not wrong. And also I have a film called The Daughters of the Domino. It looks like we're aiming for a fall distribution. So when that comes, I will have to come back on here and tell people to buy my movie.
We'll do an episode of it.
Well, Frank was involved in both the screenwriting and gave notes during editing. So really, it is Frank's fault if you don't like it.
I liked all the parts except the parts that Frank worked on. And he did the audio.
No, he did not.
No.
That's going in the IMDb trivia. Frank did the audio.
Always reliable IMDb trivia.
These people also worked on another movie.
Okay, well, that's it, everybody. We'll see you next week with Resident Evil Retribution, and goodbye.
Goodbye. Zombies are coming to eat my face.